morning. It's Monday, April 28th. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. We're bringing you all the news, announcements, and events, along with a couple of special guests. I'm Dr. Amy Tan, Dean of HCC's English and Communications, and I'm joined by Dr. Nicholas Cox, our Interim Dean for Liberal Arts and Humanities. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. Good morning. I know you know that we have to talk about this because we missed you last week. Last week, you were qualified to run the world famous Boston Marathon. And, your close friends know you've been running marathons and half marathons for about 14 years. You've run the Woodlands Half Marathon, the Super Marathon, and of course, the Houston Chevron Marathon, which I actually did not realize you have done that 8 times. That's remarkable.
I'm going for legacy. If you do it 10 years, you get legacy, which doesn't mean you still have to pay for or raise money for your entry, but you do get guaranteed entry. So, and then you get some really cool swag, right? It's all about the swag.
Oh, that's great. And before you can run Houston ninth and 10th times, you've got a marathon coming up in Chicago in October. Is that right?
That's right. So there's this really cool thing called the World Abbott Majors, and there's 6 of them, and they actually added Sydney, so there's going to be 7. So it's Boston, Chicago, New York, Berlin, Tokyo, London, and then Sydney. So I kind of set that as a goal.
Okay. All right. Well, I understand there's a big running related marathon that you're about to hit this week. Maybe on Wednesday.
Yeah, actually tomorrow I will
Okay.
hit, yeah, I'll hit my 5-year streak. So that started in the pandemic. So that was one of the things I started doing in the pandemic was I started just getting out every day, and it's only 2 miles. And I know some people are like, oh, me, but I mean, really, like if you just go out and walk for 30 minutes, that's what I do. I just go out and run and to get my little run in the morning. And so, yeah, I'm coming up on 5 years, which it seems both like it's not a big deal and crazy at the same time.
I mean, I happen to think that when you've passed that 12,000 mile running mark, that's pretty crazy, but it's also really admirable.
Well, thanks.
So
Thank
you have a whole lot of these goals set, like the Chicago Marathon and the 10 Legacy in Houston, and the one you just mentioned about doing the marathons around the world. I saw after Boston last week a woman bragging, or bragging is the wrong word. That's such a negative word. She was
celebrating.
celebrating that she was, I think, the 33rd woman to do 50 marathons in 50 states. I think so.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So
impressive.
I'm going to put that on your goal.
Yeah.
I'll,
So
I'll
I
add that to
actually
your task.
I actually told my husband that I felt like I'm a little too old to be deciding to do 50 states at this point. And he just laughed and said, that's what retirement's for. So I was
That's
like,
right.
well, okay.
That's right.
We'll
I
see.
mean, if you can do 5 a year, you can do it in 10 years. You've already got Texas and Massachusetts done. Chicago counts for Illinois. You're
Just check
you're
them
already
off,
there.
right? It's like any other goal. You just check it off your list and keep going. And then you look for the next mountain, right?
All right. Well, we look forward to bragging about you when you hit that legacy mark and do these other marathons as well. I guess we should probably get to the show.
We should get to the show, but thanks for that. Thanks for celebrating with me. It was an unbelievable day, and it's just incredible. I mean, they talk about Boston is it's the original, right? They've been running it for 129 years, and it's if you ever get a chance to run it, I highly recommend it. There are ways to get in. You don't have to be the fastest. So everybody should have goals. So we're live, Nick, on HCCTV whenever HCC is in session. How can people find us?
Yeah, we also run live on the Houston Community College District's Facebook page and on YouTube. And we're on social media like X, LinkedIn, and we have HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
And for Mental Health Monday, we will be discussing a celebration to mark 70 years of work at the intersection of spirituality and health with Leah Adams Pruitt. Good morning, Leah.
Good morning, Amy. Thanks for having me.
And you are the Vice President of Engagement for the Institute for Spirituality and Mental Health and our Mental Health Monday guest. And so we are looking forward to hearing from you. Just give us about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back. First, Nick is talking about an upcoming HCC event for students called Voices from Around the World, and he is joined by Lisa Devoe and Mercedes Wilson-Everett. They are both faculty in our continuing ed program for English language skills. Take it away, Nick.
Yes, thank you, thank you, and good morning. Good morning to Ms. Devoe and Ms. Wilson-Everett. If you guys just turn your mic on and we'll chat a little bit about this event. Um, as the Dean of Humanities and Liberal Arts, I'm extremely excited about a global event on reading and writing and English language skills. So, Lisa, why don't we start with you? Can you give us the basic details, the who, what, where, when, and why about this Voices Across Cultures event?
I'm glad you said where, when, and how. Well, actually, we came up with this idea with Mercedes is her baby. I had to say it. But we basically want to showcase our students, our ESL students, and we want to basically work with them and encourage them. We're working on self-esteem. We're also working on learning about different cultures, their perspectives, and all of the things that tie into our classroom settings. We're taking it to the real world, so to speak, but we're using the students in real world instances. They're doing performances. We have students that will be playing instruments, flutes, and we have students that will be saying their parts. Now, these are all of our ESL level students in the continuing ed program. So we're very, very excited to have them to portray and have the different things that come against them. We know we have songs that's going to inspire. We have various different things, and I just let Miss Mercedes continue on. I'm so excited today.
Well, let me ask you if you could circle back and tell me about the details of the event, the who and what and where. I think that there are some specific times and places. Maybe they're on campus or maybe they're virtual. We'll have information in our notes after the show. But where would students participate in the Voices Across Cultures? When and where?
There,
Oh, go ahead.
there are going to be three main areas at the A-Leaf Bissonnet campus. We're going to be in the auditorium. We're going to also be in the plaza, and we also will be outside of the A-Leaf Bissonnet campus when we're doing a parade. So there are three main areas within the A-Leaf Bissonnet campus. Also, the time will be from 12 to 3 p.m. In terms of all of the students are invited. We also are working in concert with campus management. It takes a village, we say, to take care of the students, and we believe in the Ubuntu South African quote, they are because we are, and we are all working together. So that's the what, the where, and I guess the when.
No, that's great. I appreciate that. And so let me circle back to Lisa there. I understand that this engagement through language practice can participate in a facilitating a sort of a sense of belonging and making sure our students feel like they're welcome and that they belong at HCC and at college. Can you talk a little bit about the sense of belonging aspect?
Yes, the sense of belongings is just tied into their talents and being able for the students to feel comfortable enough to share their talents. We're basically reassuring them that even if you're on the job, because we do a lot of job and work source as a tie-in to our classes also. So it might be some of the students are not so interested in going on to the universities, but we try to include and make all of them feel a belonging in that aspect where we're trying in not only just the educational aspect, but the real world. Some of our students are homemakers. So we're encouraging them to use their English skills and in this program also, and to give them the encouragement that they need. We belong, and the next thing we want to add on is caring. We're a caring campus. We basically care about our students. We have a food scholarship program that comes every month, and in addition to that, we have a team of so many dedicated people that are here to help out, and we just appreciate this opportunity to showcase our students.
No, I think it's wonderful if this event can also work in our Caring Campus initiatives and communicate that how much we want our students to be present and successful. Mercedes, I have a question for you. Tell us about these ports of call activities, how these journeys fit into this event.
I think that's one of the most exciting parts, and it kind of really filters into the sense of belonging, because we wanted our students to know that their stories and their experiences are valued and are welcomed as part of the greater American narrative. And so it's like a cross-cultural connection of what we're trying to do here. For example, not only do they bring this beautiful narrative to the tapestry of America, but also America has all of these wonderful places that they need to know about. For example, we go to the Port of Galveston and we're introducing them to line dancing. They are line dancing, and we're also going to integrate the audience into it. Also, we're going to go to the Port of Corpus Christi, and they're going to learn about Tejano dancing and the great Selena. We cannot forget about Selena. Also, we're going to learn about the Port of New York and how the culture of hip hop, it's not just music, but it's something that has grown worldwide. And the Statue of Liberty. We have a poem, we call it our Hamilton poem. It's all in rhyme and prose. It's so beautiful. And we have refugees talking, having a chat with the Statue of Liberty. We have things like the staff, the campus management staff are doing a dance. We have the Port of Triumph, where we are reminding students, like we say here in our mission at HCC, we expect our students to be here, to stay in school, and know that they can rise up over whatever challenges come their way. So we have a rally cry for them to know, stay in school. But one of the most exciting parts too is the Passport Playground.
Well, let me pause you there and ask you about that, because beyond the ports, where you guys have, the ports of call events, I did see in the advertisements here that you guys are going to have students doing a passport playground and a pose and play port. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, that one is where the activities become, when we go to Hawaii, they're going to engage in limbo dancing, shake ball dancing. They also are going to learn about tiki totem.
Yeah.
What is the history behind that? How did we acquire Hawaii? Everything's kind of integrated with the learning, but having fun. Also, we're going to do passport. Every port that they stop at, they're going to be able to have some downtime to reflect and actually get a personalized passport where they're going to be able to put their stamps in there, dealing with hip hop, dealing with Hawaii, dealing with Selena. These passports are really awesome so that they can memorialize this actual event and put in there about their special stopovers at these ports. Also during this special time is where they'll get all different types of snacks. It's just a real fun thing where we're replicating a real Mardi Gras, where we have a float, we have napkin dances, we have carousel dances that are kind of typical with Mardi Gras. It is just a host of fun. Awards, bingo, it's just fun.
Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about the opportunities that students will have to do some arts and crafts, not just the port of call or the ports of passports, but I understand there's a global studio port, like an art studio where they can make some art.
Well, the art activities are integrated around the actual ports. For example, there are wooden little horse figurines where they can actually paint them or use stencils to actually draw on them. We have tiki totems where we can do actual face painting, or they can make some actual paintings using stencils on canvas paper. That's for Hawaii. There are about 8 or 9 different actual art activities where they can make actual people and, well, people bodies and put actual types of cultural garments on them. They are really neat activities where they can use markers, paint, stickers, stencils. We tried to make it fun but quick, where they can actually take home a finished product.
Well, I have another question for you. Our students, as you guys know better than I know, that our students come from all over the world. If they are passing through these ports of call and doing these celebrations and art and music and food, are there opportunities where students can also share connections from their culture, from their homelands or their experiences, and kind of connect what they bring to Houston to this event?
That's exactly
Yes.
why we call it a cross-cultural event. And for example, when we ask students, what are your talents? That's what we wanted to know, because it's really important when we go back to students having the opportunity to share their voice. And we have, for example, the hip hop. The students know that hip hop initiated in the Bronx, but it has spread worldwide. And so when they do their little fashion show, they're using Vietnamese hip hop because that's what they love. These particular students that wanted to do this particular event. Another
Well,
student,
you know what, Miss Lisa, that sounds absolutely wonderful. I'm glad to hear that we'll be giving students that opportunity to kind of bring their culture in as well. But we are out of time, and I want to thank you both. This is Lisa Devoe and Mercedes Wilson-Everett, both here with our HCC Continuing Education English Language Skills Division. We're going to have information about the event in our post after the show, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
for having us.
All right, after a quick commercial break, Amy will be back to talk with our Mental Health Monday guest.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally like knew that I had somebody.
We're back with Leah Adams Pruitt, Vice President of Engagement for the Institute for Spirituality and our Mental Health Monday guest. Welcome back to the show, Leah.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
Well, your organization is looking back on what you call 70 years of impact. We'll get into the event in a bit, but first, tell us about that decades-long history.
Yeah, so the Institute for Spirituality and Health is right here in the heart of the Texas Medical Center. And it started in 1955 when some individuals noticed that in our medical center, the whole patient didn't have really the care they needed at the bedside, spiritual care, faith traditions, cultural considerations. And so that's really how the Institute started, it was originally called the Institute for Religion. So today, 7 decades later, we are fully interfaith. We work with people from all faith traditions or those simply just seeking connection. And we operate our programs through our 4 centers of excellence, which we can talk a little bit more about.
Yeah, what a wonderful service. And I hadn't realized that the Institute was a founding member of the Texas Medical Center. How has it remained independent and interfaith?
That's a great question. So the Institute has always been independent. It is not connected to an educational system. It is not connected to a hospital system. In fact, we used to have a building right in the heart of the medical center, which was flooded in, I think, Hurricane Allison. So we've moved from that location, but we still are right here in the medical center. And over the decades, we've innovated, particularly because the hospitals took on training their own chaplains. Back then the Institute was written up in Time magazine and really recognized all over the world for this innovative idea of putting chaplains in hospitals. And over the years, they have found ways to impact not just the Houston community, but nationwide. We have more than 30 years of educational conferences for healthcare professionals, physicians, nurses, chaplains, really giving opportunities for continuing education and to infuse this idea that one's spirituality is an important consideration in their overall well-being.
Well, tell us about the 70th anniversary celebration. I want to make sure we get all the details in.
Thank you for asking. So this Thursday, May 1st, we will celebrate 70 years. We're having this wonderful speaker, our featured speaker, Dr. Lisa Miller. She's our adjunct faculty. She's written some wonderful books, The Spiritual Child and other books. And what we're going to do is take a look at the history, but also really share a lot of what we're doing today. We do a lot of work in public health. And so we like to really start with faith by pairing, various faith homes with public health resources. That's just one of our centers of excellence. So anyone who comes.
Oh, you muted. There you go.
Okay.
So anyone who comes.
Yes, everyone is invited to come and join us. We would love for you to come and learn about the Institute. We have everything from bereavement support groups to, as I mentioned, public health resources, and just a phenomenal featured speaker. So it's this Thursday evening, May 1st. We have a welcome reception at 5 p.m. The program itself is 6 to 8, and we're holding it at the brand new TMC3 Helix Park.
That is so exciting. Well, and before I let you go, tell us about your vision for the future.
Thank you. So the Institute is doing some very interesting research. We're looking around at what medical schools are actually teaching spirituality as part of their curriculum. So really tying back to our original mission, just taking it a little bit deeper into, medical professional education. And in our other centers of excellence, really what we aim to do is infuse a sense of resilience, right? Enhance well-being. And so this improves not only public health outcomes, individual well-being outcomes. And then as a community, we know we've all dealt with the hurricanes, the natural disasters, the pandemic. And so really it improves our overall resilience as a community.
Yeah, so much wonderful information in your segment. Leah, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
And we'll have you back again.
Yeah,
so Leah Adams Pruitt, Vice President of Engagement for the Institute for Spirituality, and our Mental Health Monday guest. We'll have all of the information in our post after the show. And we will be right back after a quick commercial break.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
And we're back with some abbreviated announcements. Nick, can you remind everybody that registration's ongoing?
That's right. You guys out there can make the most of the summer by locking in those classes you need to stay on track. HCC classes are offered in a variety of programs during the summer semester. We have several different sessions and a range of modalities, including traditional classes in person, online anytime classes that are asynchronous, online on a scheduled classes with virtual meetings, and we have hybrid classes that meet in person and online. To learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and your options to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
Well, and Nick, it was great to see you. I'm glad we're back together for our regular Monday up to the minute. We have to make sure that we can keep it going.
That's right. Hopefully we don't get interrupted again or pulled away.
That's right. Well, coming up this week, we'll begin congratulating HCC's NISOD Excellence Award winners who were recently announced at a board meeting and recognized by the Chancellor. And later for Thursday Family Fun Day, the Asia Society of Houston will launch AAPI Month. That's Asian American Pacific Islander Month. So we hope that you'll join us, and we want to thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time.